What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome back to the latest Liverpool transfer news video. And the Express and many other English newspapers are reporting that Jadon Sancho will almost certainly leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer, and Liverpool are the favourites to sign him, with Manchester United and other clubs also interested in Jadon Sancho. But I think that Liverpool, out of the clubs interested in Sancho, are the most attractive club for him. And according to some journalists, Liverpool are actually already putting out feelers, and negotiations in the background are going on between, Liverpool's representatives and the Dortmund's representatives. Sancho has been in absolute incredible form this season, scoring 16 goals and also getting 18 assists in all competitions, which is like he contributed to 34 goals and assists combined already this season, and we are in February still. So he could reach 20 goals and 25 assists by the time the season comes to an end. And I would love to see Jadon Sancho signed for Liverpool. Let me know guys, do you want him at Liverpool? Do you think he's worth around £100 million, which Borussia Dortmund would ask for Liverpool? And on a recent episode of a podcast, O'Neill, who is a journalist, discussed what it would take for Liverpool to seal the deal and sign Jadon Sancho. And this is what she said. You feel like if Sancho was to move to Liverpool, it would have to be at the cost of losing Firmino, Mane or Salah, because Liverpool are quite precise in the transfer window. Would Sancho be starting? It could create an uncomfortable dynamic. You want the best players and you want as many of them as possible, but you still want it to be balanced. It is a tricky one with a lot of issues. And also the host of the podcast said Sancho has got 16 goals and 18 assists in his last 31 games for Dortmund, which is really impressive. But he's likely to cost 100 million or even more. And even though he might be moving on this summer, I just don't think Liverpool are going to be paying that. O'Neill added, there's wage demands as well. If you are paying £100 million for the transfer fee, you would think he would be becoming the top earner at Liverpool. That would wreak a little bit of havoc in the wage bills, the wage structure. But if Liverpool want him, they will go out and get him. And I think Liverpool want Jadon Sancho. It's just a matter of how would Salah, Mane and Firmino react, especially Salah and Mane, to Jadon Sancho coming in. Because I don't agree with this opinion of O'Neill that Liverpool can only sign Jadon Sancho if we sell one of Salah or Mane, because Liverpool have the money to sign Jadon Sancho. Remember that last summer, when Liverpool could easily spend 60, 70, 80 million pounds on players, we signed nobody of note who is considerable, who is costing a considerable amount of money. So basically Liverpool saved for one whole year the transfer fee and the wages, so we can go big next summer. And what's even more incredible is Liverpool, without signing any proper first team players for any fees, are 22 points clear at the top of the Premier League table, while Manchester City spent another close to £100 million on new players. And this is what is absolutely incredible about the recruitment of Jurgen Klopp. Jadon Sancho has all the attributes and all the hallmarks to become an absolute world-class generational talent. He is the next biggest talent in world football right now, in my opinion, alongside the likes of Timo Werner, Mbappe and other really big talented players. Erling Haaland also comes to mind. And Jadon Sancho wants to win Champions Leagues, he wants to win Premier League titles. I don't think he can win the Champions League with Dortmund. I don't think he can win the Bundesliga with Dortmund, even though Dortmund are pretty close to Bayern Munich. Bayern just have more strength in depth and also a lot more experience when it comes to title races. And yes, Dortmund are a much better side since they signed Erling Haaland. He is scoring in pretty much every game. He scored in every game bar one that he played for Dortmund, and I mean competitive games, not friendlies. So Jadon Sancho would want to come to the Premier League to showcase everybody how good he became at Dortmund, and also he wants probably to win the Champions League and win the Premier League and he wants to start winning big trophies as early as possible. Because still, Jadon Sancho, even though he's only 19 years old, the footballer's life of a career is pretty short. The career of footballers are not lasting like 40 years like normal careers do. So he has probably like maybe 15 years at the top of European football, and he wants to maximize probably that time of winning as many trophies as possible. And I think winning trophies is one thing, but being part of Liverpool while winning trophies would be just the absolute best thing for Jadon Sancho, in my opinion. He can see what a great chemistry Liverpool have. Jurgen Klopp is the manager that every player wants to play for, and Liverpool is probably one of the most attractive clubs in world football right now, because not only are they Champions League winners, they are the World Club champions, and also they are going to win the Premier League title. I think it's almost certain now. Liverpool only need 4 wins out of like 11 games to win the title. And I think that Jadon Sancho wants to compete for titles and trophies, and he can do that at Dortmund, but he has a much bigger and a much better chance of winning trophies and titles at Liverpool. So that's why I think Liverpool should pay the 100 million for Jadon Sancho, because the other scenario, like let's say just a hypothetical scenario, Liverpool decide not to sign Sancho, and then Sancho will go to either Chelsea or maybe even Manchester City or Manchester United, and then Liverpool have to play against Sancho every season for the considerable future, for the next 5, 6, 7 years. And I believe Jadon Sancho is such a good player that he would elevate Chelsea to the, like, maybe not the same level as Man City or Liverpool, but a lot closer to that. At the moment, Liverpool have such a big advantage over every club bar Manchester City, in my opinion, that we can safely say that we will probably finish in the top 2 next season in the Premier League. But if Chelsea or Man United sign Jadon Sancho, who knows? Maybe they could join the top 2 and challenge for the title, because that's how good Jadon Sancho is, in my opinion. I mean, without Jadon Sancho, Dortmund would be nowhere near a Bundesliga title race, but they are quite close to the Bundesliga leaders, Bayern Munich. With Leipzig, they are fighting it out with Mönchengladbach as well, with Bayern Munich, of course, the Bundesliga title. So I think that that's one of the many reasons why Liverpool should sign Jadon Sancho. If Sancho goes to another Premier League club, I would hate to see how much he would improve any other club that he joined. And imagine if he signed for Liverpool, we would be almost unstoppable as an attacking force in Europe and in the Premier League. And that's what Liverpool want to do, because Firmino, Mane and Salah won't go on forever. In 2 or 3 years, they might get phased out, either sold, or they will be either sold or they will want to leave, and then Liverpool have to sell them. But either way, their performances will start to decline slowly, and Jadon Sancho will go up and up and up like this. So I think the future is Jadon Sancho, and I really hope that Liverpool complete this signing, because even for £100 million, he would be worth the money. And also, even if Liverpool spend 100 million on Jadon Sancho, we can always sell him. Even in 5, 6, 7 years time, Jadon Sancho would probably sell for even more than that. So we could recuperate the money that way. And also, winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League a few times with Jadon Sancho in the Liverpool side, we would earn back that money easily in 2 or 3 seasons, in my opinion at least. And Wijnaldum is negotiating a new contract with Liverpool, but at the moment he is also thinking about his long-term future. And Wijnaldum actually said some very interesting things about his long-term future career as a footballer. And this is what he said: "In the future, I see myself playing for Feyenoord, PSV or Sparta Rotterdam again, one of my 3 former clubs. Sometimes I look at Sparta, which is Wijnaldum's first youth club, and think it would be great to spend my last years as a professional there." Those are the words of Wijnaldum, and he continued: "In the Netherlands, I played for 3 clubs and still have a good feeling about all 3 of them, but you can only pick one. I can't promise anything though. I learned from other players too. Van Nistelrooy once promised to come back but changed his mind over the years. It's unique what I'm experiencing right now. You want to play at the highest level and win trophies like Clarence Seedorf, for example. It's my dream to play as long as possible, like Seedorf, like Zlatan Ibrahimovic or Cristiano Ronaldo. I want to play at a high level until I'm 38 years old. And that's interesting that he makes a Clarence Seedorf comparison. I guess he's an idol of Wijnaldum because he's Dutch and he played at the top level for many years. And I still think that even if Wijnaldum signs a new contract, he can stay at Liverpool for the next 3 years and perform at a peak level. I don't think Wijnaldum is the type of player who at the wrong side of 30, when he's like 33, 34, he would massively decline, because he's a very good all-round player with many different attributes. He doesn't rely on a lot of his physical attributes, which will start to slow a little bit as his body ages. I don't think Wijnaldum relies that much on his physical attributes. He much more relies on his touch, on his mental toughness, on his game intelligence, and on his vision, and those type of things only get better with age. And Andy Robertson said after the West Ham game that Liverpool missed Henderson, and I think that was pretty obvious. He said this: when you don't have your captain out there, you can feel it. Henderson is a real leader. He was in the changing room before saying a few words, and he was exactly the same as he always is before games, and he was in there again afterwards. It was good having him there. Everyone hates being on the sidelines, and Henderson is no different. The quicker he's back, the better for all of us. And Gary Neville made some very interesting comments about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and why Liverpool didn't sign him is a mystery to Gary Neville. I think I have the answer for that. Jurgen Klopp said previously that he doesn't like to work with players who he already worked with in previous clubs, because he likes to open new chapters and likes to have like new people to work with, to interact with. But still, it's a good point, because at the time Aubameyang was, one of the best strikers in the world, and the fact that not even Liverpool and his former manager Jurgen Klopp signed Aubameyang or was interested in Aubameyang was a little bit surprising, and in the end he went to Arsenal. But this is what Neville said in his podcast: including me, we have stopped short of announcing Aubameyang as a truly world-class striker. We are happy to go with Aguero, with Mane, Salah, Firmino, Harry Kane, all these players who have graced the Premier League in the last 2 or 3 seasons. I feel that Aubameyang doesn't get that same credit, and maybe it's something that comes from when he first entered into English football. It was a case of, why didn't any of the top clubs want Aubameyang? How did Arsenal get him? Is there something wrong with him? Why didn't Jurgen Klopp take him to Anfield? All these questions were being asked. I asked them myself. But now we are talking about a really high level of performance over a couple of years, and today I thought it was a brilliant performance from him. The main reason, in my opinion, is all the other top clubs had brilliant number 9s at the time that they didn't really want to replace. And Aubameyang wanted a club with an open spot of a striking spot where he can play every week and score a lot of goals. And Arsenal had that. Arsenal had an open spot. Yes, they had Lacazette, but I think that Aubameyang thought, I will start ahead of Lacazette. It's quite interesting that in the end Aubameyang ended up playing on the wing a lot more, but he's still scoring quite a few goals. And Gary Neville continued with this. Not just his goals, which he took really well, but also the shift that he put in. I didn't know how he would adapt to being told to go and play on the left-hand side. The idea of doing a shift there when you think you are the top man and you are the goal scorer, but he seems to have really bought into it. He doesn't look like he has been a moment's bother since he has come to Arsenal. So all the suggestions that he could have issues of the pitch have not materialized. I think it's getting to the point now where you could argue that he is the top goal scorer in the Premier League over the last couple of seasons. He's one of the best players we have got in the Premier League, but for some reason he doesn't quite get the credit and the plaudits that others get. I don't know why that is, but I think now's the time for us all to start recognizing the quality and the brilliance of this player. He fights for the team, he's always there, and for me, he's everything you would want in a football player. And I agree with Gary Neville. Aubameyang is the top scorer in the Premier League right now. He won the Golden Boot last season alongside Mane and Salah. So he should get the credit, he should get the plaudits of all the other world-class strikers. But for some reason he doesn't. Is that because he's playing at Arsenal, who are not having their best seasons? I'm not really sure. You can say what you want about this issue in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinion. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.